to take feed at that point in time. And then supplementation with vitamins, which can be done through the feed or in water, because the birds are losing a lot of minerals, a lot of electrolytes. So you need to supplement them with a lot of vitamins and electrolytes during the period of heat stress. So adequate water should be provided. I must emphasize that the water should be cool and clean. Cool drinking water and clean drinking water. Recently, there has been a lot of issues with a lot of disease outbreaks, and issues with avian influenza, bird flu, and all that. So one of the things you can do to protect your birds is to ensure you practice very good biosecurity. And practicing biosecurity also means taking care of the water your birds are drinking. You have to sanitize the water that your birds are drinking. So ensure that the water is cool, ensure that the water is sanitized. And during heat, these birds take a lot of water, almost 3, 4, 5 times of what they usually take during the normal weather. And because you don't want the birds to be taking hot water during the heat, you try to put your water tanks in a shaded area where it's insulated. You can have a kind of thatch roof over it, or you can insulate it with a jute bag also, something that will help to keep your water cool. And for those who are using the battery cage system, from time to time, you open the pipes, you allow the water to flush out, the hot water, the warm water. So you flush out from time to time so that you give your birds cool water to drink. Maintain a germ-free water always. Sanitize your water with tablets like Isoclor so that your birds will be free from contaminations of E. coli, Salmonella, and the likes. So other interventions which we have mentioned is using vitamins and electrolytes in the water so that your birds will be able to survive the heat and perform optimally. And then sometimes we also encourage you to use salt compounds like Vioxx so that it will encourage water consumption if the birds are not taking enough water, because they need water to survive the heat. Then you can also use the water grade of the super leaf, the liver tonic in water, and also you can use stress root, which is a very, very potent anti-stress, which helps to combat the stress. It's a herbal product, very, very natural product that helps to make the birds very, very comfortable during the heat stress. So there are a lot of herbs in the stress rope that help in stimulating the immunity of the birds. So aside from to be able to combat or able to withstand a lot of infectious agents that are trying to penetrate into their body. So stress rope helps to improve their immunity and helps to make them very comfortable. So stress rope comes in 1 liter and 200 ml liquid, and it can be used at 1 ml in 2 liters. We also have the super leaf, which we said is a herbal liver tonic, very, very, very effective. Helps in enhancing the function and the capacity of the liver. The liver is very important for the birds. It does a lot in terms of digestion and even metabolism. So when you talk about productivity, it's determined by the liver. And when you talk about detoxification, it's also determined by the liver. So the liver has to be in good condition. So you need to give it all the support, and you can support the liver by giving it the super leaf to help in actually giving the effect that you want the birds to have. Then so we said that improved liver function ensures efficient feed utilization and better feed conversion ratio. So when you have better feed utilization, when you have better feed conversion, you are going to boost flock mortality with superleaf and other products. And you're also going to have increased egg production for the egg farmers. So it also comes in powder form and in liquid form. For the powder form, it's used at 500 grams per ton. And for the liquid form, it's used at 1 ml in 2 liters. We also have a product that is very essential for this period. We call it Mentofin. If you remember, we said during heat, the birds are panting so much, and there's a lot of breathing difficulty at this time, a lot of panting, a lot of stress on the respiratory organs. So Mentofin helps to clear the airways, helps to improve the bird's immunity, and helps them to survive this difficult period. So it's a product that we should have. It's a product that we should have in our farm. We can also spray with Mentofin at 100 ml in 5 liters. And also we can use it in drinking water at 1 ml in 5 liters. So Mentofin will go a long way in helping the birds. Now, we said during heat stress, the birds lose a lot of vitamins, a lot of electrolytes because of the heat stress. So you need to augment, you need to replace. So one of the products you can use to replace the lost electrolytes is bromine. It contains some chelated minerals, it contains electrolytes, and it contains some essential amino acids like methionine and lysine, which are very important for productivity of your birds. So this can also be used at 1 ml in 2 liters. So we always advise, please consult your veterinarians when you have challenges with your birds so that they can give all the advice that is necessary. And we're always available to give you all the support that you need so that you can excel in your poultry production. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Amos, for that wonderful presentation. And I believe the audience will agree with me that Dr. Amos has done justice to the topic. For heat stress, like we began to say, this period, any bird that is suffering from heat stress definitely has changes in the physiology of that bird. It's a string reaction. Once a bird is going through heat stress, there's a string reaction that goes on in the system of that bird, and the physiology of that bird changes. And when the physiology of the bird changes, definitely the production of that bird will also reduce. Whether that bird is broiler or layer bird, the production will go down. And when the production goes down, that means that you will not achieve what you intend to achieve. So please, we will encourage us as much as possible to put into practice all that Dr. Amos has taught us today in order for us to have very good production. I will hand over to Dr. Ismail now, as Dr. Ismail introduced the second speaker who is going to do justice to the second topic. So Dr. Ismail, you can take over, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aduta Daniel. As we've listened to Dr. Amos Elogun, he really done justice to the topic. And what I'm urging us is that if we have any comments or question or contribution, let us jot it down and leave it on the chat box, or we can raise our hands as well, so that when we finish the second presentation, then we can attend to the question and answers. Thank you very much for your patience. And for those that joined us while the training was ongoing, you are all welcome again. And I like saying great farmers when we are having an open forum, but now I can only say great farmers, maybe you answer yourself. You answer to yourself. You are highly welcome to this program. So the next presenter is going to talk on the role of association in poultry industry development, with which I'm going to invite Dr. Yunus Harun, our branch operations manager, to come and do justice to the topic. And I know you will have a lot of questions. Please jot them down so that we can attend to them after this presentation. Dr. Yunus Harun, you are highly welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, great farmers, great nation, no farmers, no nation. Because when there's no farmers, there's going to be no food. And if there's no food, that means the place will be vacant. So we have seen the need to discuss the role of an association in the development of the poultry industry. You know, before now, most of the times we talk about the empowerment, a training on how to enhance biosecurity, and then how to manage the pens, and then how to do some other things that are related to the operations of the farm. But now it's like we've seen the need to enlighten the farmers about the importance of association. And what really brought about this need is the recent things that have happened concerning the outputs of the farms, which has, not a very good price, and then the inputs of the farms, like the raw materials, which has become an endemic problem, especially the source of protein. So all this call for, a concern that farmers can do more if they can speak with one voice. Farmers can do more if they can operate as an organization or an association. Not that we don't have association of farmers, we have them, but only that the mishandling of the associations, especially the I don't care attitude by some of the members of the association or organizations, ruin the expected outcome or success of the organization. So you as individual farmers have a role to play. And the essence of this presentation is to awaken our spirit, to bring to limelight about how our contribution, our individual contribution is very, very important. So first of all, I want us to look into the definition of what an association or an organization is. Here, through Google, we are able to get this definition: a group of people organized for a joint purpose. People, joint purpose. And then another one is the connective or the cooperative link between people or organization. Link people or organization. These are keywords. And then according to the dictionary.com, it is an organization of people with common purpose and having a formal structure, meaning that it is still about people and then having a common interest. Here, that means when we talk about structure, these people are organized in such a way that they have a kind of leadership. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is a group of people or organization who work together for a particular purpose. People, particular purpose. And then according to the Oxford Dictionary, it's a group of people organized for a joint purpose. So an organization can never exist without people. And an organization or an association can come into play for a reason. So once there's a reason for people to come together to pursue a particular thing, then that group of people form an association or an organization. So normally, what brings us to think of an association or an organization is either because there's a fear of something that will affect us or affect our skills or affect our businesses. So that fear can make us to call ourselves those people that are in the same industry, so as to sit down and then think of the way forward on how to remove these fears. And once these people come together to sit down and then start thinking on how to remove this fear, so these people form an association. And then sometimes people will see what is trending about their own industry, their own profession, or their own, businesses. And this thing are seeing it from far. They are yearning for this kind of progress in their fields of endeavors. They may decide to call themselves so as to sit down together and then think of the way forward. Think on how to import this kind of progress they are seeing somewhere, or what kind of progress that is being innovated within their own cycle. So now, as farmers, always around this time, during the hot season, towards the end of March, and then April, May, you find out that people are not taking much of the farm products. That's the egg. And we keep on, accumulating eggs in the farm. This is something that if care is not taken, it can, temper with the operations of the farm. Because if you are not selling, you cannot get the money to run the farm, to buy feed, and to do other things. So glut is a threat, and it constitutes fear. The high cost of operation. Recently, raw materials are becoming, the price of raw material is becoming too high. And this is at the detriment of the farmers, because what they are getting is not enough as before. So certainly it will affect the operations of the farm, and if care is not taken, it may ultimately lead to the closure of the farm. And before now, you find out that a farm with a certain number of birds gets a profit, say about 2 years back, the profit they are getting from a certain number is not commensurate with the profits they are getting in the recent time. So profitability is decreasing. And then the farm population remain the same. So this is limiting growth. It's with profitability, good profitability, that we can be able to increase our capacity, that we can be able to grow. But in a situation whereby the number of birds you have in your farm can no longer cater for the growth, that one also constitutes a very great fear, because it may likely lead to the closure of the farm. And you know, disease condition, especially the popular among them, like the avian influenza, and then the things like the gumboro, which always claim about 50% or even more of the population of your birds once it comes into play. So this one also is a serious hazard that constitutes fear in the minds of the farmers. And then lack of effective compensation mechanism. If anything happens to your farm, any disaster, any flood, you know, there's no any compensation from, you know, any financial institution like the insurance companies or from the government or from banks. You know, this one also can constitute a very great fear, and it may likely lead to the closure of farms. Sometimes these are the things that will make farmers to come together to see how they can address their own problem. And once they are able to come together in order to address these problems, to find out that an association is automatically formed. So sometimes farmers may need a situation whereby they will be, you know, yearning for information through training, through seminar, through fora, but then the informations are not so adequate. Not everybody is getting the information at the right time. Farmers might have to come together, you know, to organize themselves as a body so that they can keep on informing themselves about anything that is trending, anything that is happening. And once they come together to see how they can, you know, inform themselves about any coming training, seminar, fora, and what have you, an association is automatically formed. And this is a kind of progress. You know, they form because they want to, you know, progress in developing their businesses. And then sometimes an emerging technique, for example, Dr. Amos have just, you know, discussed heat stress management. And in the course of his discussion, or a discussion similar to this, maybe something new has come up. So once this is identified, it needs to be shared among farmers. So this can be achieved through an association. Once there's an association, it is easy to disseminate information about emerging new techniques. And then sometimes about the storage of the output of the farm, and then the storage of the inputs, like the raw material and what have you, or the output, how we can store our egg, our meat, and what have you, also calls for, you know, an association. And then the processing also, recently, because some people that have concern about egg loss, they were able to, improve on the storage of perishable output like eggs by making it into a powder. Some can boil it so that it can, prolong the shelf life. And then sometimes it can be separated into various types of liquids, which can also extend the shelf life of the eggs. So all these kind of technologies will make farmers to come together so as to see how they can bring this kind of technology. They can do it as an association or charge some individuals, give away to well-meaning individuals that are wealthy and can be able to, bring this kind of industry, or even ask the government for a kind of intervention so as to come up with processes that would help, in the storage and the processes of the farm outputs. So now, what's the role of the association? We're talking about the role, how important is the role of association in the development of the poultry industry. So this is the main area where we want farmers to understand. Association provides reliable information. It provides a reliable information about the industry. Sometimes an information can be needed for planning, for budgeting, and what have you. So if there's an association, the information from an association is going to be considered as a very reliable information, because individuals cannot have information about other farmers, but an association, have a lot of, information, because they know themselves, they register themselves, so they can, once they talk about the population or the demography of the poultry industry, you find out that the information given is near accurate. And then they can give information also about the annual egg production in their territories, in their areas, so that we'll know what is the actual output in terms of egg that is coming, and then that is being produced in the industry. And then there's meat also, annual poultry meat production. Here there's a mistake, because the spelling of meat is MEAT. So we mean annual poultry meat production. So through an association, it can be, the information can be gotten accurately. So, and then the evaluation of the financial capacity of the industry also can be gotten through the association. The association can be able to tell us what is being spent in the industry, or what has the industry generated, what contribution has the industry made to the economy of the country. All this kind of information can be, provided by associations accurately. And then the number and the database of the farms and the farmers in the country. At the fingertips, an association can have information about its members and about the farms that are in operation. And then the price of the input and the output, the association can be able to, easily tell us about the price of the raw material from various locations. And then it can also be able to give us the price of the output in various locations. And then if there's any incidence of a disease in one particular area, the association can easily get information and can disseminate correct information as well. And then farmers will become so cautious because they have been informed of an outbreak that is, happening somewhere. So that will make the farmers to, take some proactive measures. So the association can also protect the interest of its members. For example, now, when we know that the price of raw material is becoming, too expensive, so it is an association that can make effort, for, government to come and intervene. So an individual call to government intervention most at times cannot work. But if an association, speaks with one voice, they can be able to, talk to authorities so that the authorities can be able to, intervene by releasing some results. Output, farm products like the price of egg. An association has the ability, to decide about the price of their output. Because once an instruction is given, and if the association is very, very coherent, then the farmers can speak with one voice. So that means they can always get what they want from their businesses. But if an association is not active, or there's no any association that will tell farmers about, the price they can operate with, certainly farmers will be shooting themselves at the leg, because any farmer might decide to give his own price. Some big farmers can give a price that can be detrimental to small farmers. Because of their turnover, they can reduce the farm price of their products, which is going to affect the small farmer. So, but if there's an association, that means the association can be able to regulate irrespective of the size or the capacity of the farm. The association is the one to give the price. And once the price is given, it can be enjoyed by all, both small and the big farmers. And then if there's anything favorable, or if there's anything the farmers need, it will favor them by advancing it to the government, then it is the association's responsibility to go and make sure that, they pursue all the necessary policies, all the necessary legislation. Once it is being pursued as an organized body, it will be more easier than individual farmers, sponsoring, let's say, a program, trying to make the government or the policy makers understand. So it is always easier for the association to get or to pursue favorable legislations and policies. And that is part of the protection of the interest of the members. And then sometimes something can come up from the side of the government, which when observed critically, it will be, not so favorable to the industry. As an individual, you cannot fight it. But once there's a very, cohesive and a very strong association or organization, the association can take initiative of, going against these legislations or policies in a manner that can be understood and in a very easy way, because they are speaking not as individuals, but they are speaking as a group. So sometimes association can seek support for its members. something can happen. As an individual, you cannot succeed. Even if you ask the government to do something for you, you cannot succeed. But the association can do it for you. They work towards getting some support for farmers where needs be, and then such support may come in the form of compensation by the government or insurance companies and organizations following any disaster, disease outbreak, or etc., that affects farms. So now, a typical example is that in a situation whereby a farm is being identified with a disease like the bird flu, and then the population of the birds there was stamped out. So there's need for such farms to enjoy a kind of compensation. So as individuals, it's very, very difficult to get this kind of compensation. But once farmers come together and operate as an association, the association will take the plight of the farmers to the appropriate quarters, and then all the necessary support can be gotten. That's what we mean by seeking support for its members. And then an association is always proactive and makes caution. It makes caution to government. When farmers, because they are the one farming, they know, most of them are experienced. From their previous experiences, they know that there's going to be glut in the next 2 months, or there's going to be increase in price of raw material in the next 2 months. So this kind of information will always make an association, to be very, very proactive, to tell those concerned. For example, to tell the government that we are expecting a glut, so let there be something, a kind of policy like school feeding for children in school, that will open a way for farmers to sell their eggs, or if they're anticipating a price increase in the raw material, that will make the government to prepare its mind, to give a kind of subsidy in terms of the storage they have for farmers, and then if there's needs for the public also to know something about the industry, they should, get the public, informed in a very good way about the information needed. So on issues that are concerned about issues that are of concern about the industry. So an association is always expected to be proactive and make caution, and then tell government or fellow members or the general public about what they think might likely happen in the many farmers disseminated the information about this particular forum. So the responsibility is for all of us. So this is done through associations as well. Many poultry associations informed their members that there's going to be a forum. So anytime they hear any information, they disseminate the information so that they want their members, to be part of what is going on. Either it is a training, seminar, workshop. Country, the trending issues in the industry also can be provided by the association. So if there's any outbreak in the neighboring country or in some places which is very, close to us that may endanger our own businesses, it is the association that can provide such information to its members. The association is also responsible for the protection of the image, of its image and that of its members as well. Sometimes negative information can be given about industry. For example, when we first experienced the situation of bird flu in 2006 here in Nigeria, people are running away from consuming anything that has to do or has to come from the poultry industry. And that is as a result of misinformation. So it is the role of the association, to tell the public about, how safe it is, following some procedures to use the output of their farms. So if anybody or any organization tries to do anything that will tarnish the image of the industry, it is the association that will take initiative on how to protect the image of the industry. An individual can never succeed, but an association can sponsor campaigns, can sponsor a kind of jingle telling people about how safe it is to eat thoroughly cooked meat, poultry meat. So an association is always responsible for that. And then those associations that have gone far, can as well support research and development in the industry. Students or any research interest group can, ask for a sponsorship. And once an association or an organization is very strong, it can sponsor research and development so that the outcome of this research can be beneficial to the association or its members. And it always gives priority to the unity of its members. And then many associations have branches at state levels, at local government levels. So it is the role of an association which is operating at the national level to bring together all its members to operate as a unit so that they can speak with one voice and they can pursue whatever they want to pursue collectively. At the end of it, they will emerge victorious. So these are the roles of an association. There are some other roles, but these are the main ones that every farmer needs to know, that if he or she operates in isolation, can never achieve what is, expected. But if he can join an association and then give all the support needed to an association, then the association can pursue a lot of things. And then there should not be, a very good association without a constitution. An association, a very good association must have a guiding principle and a dynamic one for that matter. Why we say a dynamic one is because it can always undergo scrutiny. It can always be appraised, and then it can be updated to meet up with the challenges, the current challenges of the industry. Some have bylaws attached to the constitution. So bylaws are, a kind of a guiding principle that is not yet a constitution or awaiting a review of the constitution. Before a constitution can be reviewed, then bylaws can be adopted so as to fine-tune the instruction of the Constitution. So, and then every good association or organization must have a leadership and a followership. And then the leadership will take initiatives of giving all the necessary support to its members, motivate its members, and then pursue its goals, and then organize its members to become a very formidable team and to contribute so as to succeed in their endeavors. So leaders should constitute a team that is ready to work together. That one is the responsibility of the leadership. So leadership is not an individual team, it is a collective team. We have to get an executive that will lead us, and this executive must work together as a team and then try to understand themselves and then try to make us members also to understand them so that we can work together in order to achieve what we want to achieve. A good leadership is that leadership that is up to the task. Sometimes people vie for a position in the executive team of an association or organization without knowing the main reason why they should vie for a position. So if they vie for a position and then scale through, since from the onset, they don't know the reason why they are going there, you find out that they will just go there as, you know, a kind of going there will mean to them as a jamboree or something related to that. They cannot work. They will only keep on aggrandizing themselves, you know, telling us about their leadership role. But they are not so up to the task to, you know, do what is expected of them to, you know, work for the association effectively. Good leaders or good leadership is that one which is very, very humble, that is very focused and is very committed. There's no good leadership if the leaders are not humble. Once leaders show themselves, you know, that they are better than the members, or they are more stronger than the members, or, you know, this kind of ideology, so the leadership will not succeed. Leaders are those that can humble themselves, bring themselves so low, you know, to intermingle with their members, to understand the plight of their members, to seek the opinion of their members and advice of their members. So once this characteristic is found in the leadership, then that leadership might succeed. So one is that they should be able to form a very good team, which is, you know, known for their own understanding and working together as a team. And then those in the leadership should understand that they are there for a purpose and they are up to the task, and that they are always operating at the level of their members. They are not thinking that they are beyond their members or they are above them. So that will help in coming up with the effective leadership. And a good leadership is one that has an action plan or a kind of roadmap, because once there is no action plan, that means the leadership will not have a direction. So a good leadership is one that will sit down to map out their plans for a particular period of time, a year, 6 months, a quarter, something like that. So this will help and then give a direction. So once there's a roadmap and there's a plan to pursue the roadmap, that roadmap has become, a kind of goal, a kind of vision for the association. Once they have a dream and they have a plan of action to pursue the dream will become the goals of the association or organization, and it will, give a kind of vision to the organization or association. Those that good leaders are those that can take responsibility and not make excuses. There's wisdom in taking responsibility, and then there's no wisdom in giving excuses or making excuses. So one of the characteristics of good leadership is that they always take responsibility of their actions, and they don't have to make excuses. They always try to see how they can avoid a situation of making excuses. And then an association needs a kind of leaders that can delegate responsibility. Not everything that is expected of the executive that can be executed by the executive. The executive, a good leadership is the one that can be forming committees, engaging those that are willing to assist among the membership, those that have passion for the success of the association or organization. So those good leaders are the ones that can, delegate responsibilities through forming of committees and what have you. And that they don't always think that they are the only ones that know everything. They always, humble themselves to such an extent that they consider other members also as a think tank, or having a very good thinking. So they always delegate responsibility, and they have open minds to listen to advice and other opinions of the members. So this kind of leadership is bound to succeed. Then there's a role of the followership as well. It's not only about having or knowing the importance of the association or the role of the association. It's not only about, trying to get a very formidable and effective leadership through either election or other things. It is also about you as a member, as a follower. You have a role to play. For you to get your association to succeed, in order to get you what you cannot get as an individual, so you have to be very, very supportive. Supportive in what way? Whenever there's a clarion call, then you have to answer that clarion call. If you are called for a meeting, you have to be there. You are important. That's why you have been invited for a meeting. If you are asked to cooperate in one way or the other, you have to do it. Because without you, there's going to be no success. If the association asks its followers to operate or to sell their farm product at a certain price, then the support the association leadership needs from the followership is that the followership will comply with the instruction, so that will make the leadership to get what is expected of it or what is expected of the association. And whatever the leadership is doing, the followership has to give them that understanding. Followership is supposed not to be an antagonist. Followership is supposed to be, a kind of protagonist. They have to understand the operations, the mindset of the leadership. And once this is formed, it will give a kind of nourishment or a kind of fuel to the leadership to work effectively. And then fulfilling obligations in attending functions and committed financially. Attending functions, if you are asked to come for any association meeting, don't think that there are other things that are more important than this. Yes, certainly sometimes situations cannot allow you to participate, but not all the times. For example, now as a farmer, you have health challenges or your family have health challenges and you are, the time is coinciding with the time of meeting while you are trying to go to the hospital. These are genuine excuses, but not because you are having a friend, a visitor that asks to come to visit you and then you cancel going to meeting because of a friend's visit. Not that a friend is not important, but your friend, a true friend of yours, needs your progress. So it's not out of place to reschedule your visits. So just to enable you to fulfill your obligation of attending function. Once you are attending function effectively, that will also give the leadership a kind of support. That's one of the support that is needed from you. And then membership or followership is not just like that. It has to be financially committed. If you are asked to pay your annual due, you have to pay. With this, you make it easier for the leadership to lead you very well. But once you are not supporting them, sometimes they will, get tired, or their individual financial capability will not be able to cater for the needs of the association. So once this kind of financial commitment is not adequately, gotten from the followership, an association is bound to fail. So we have strong organizations, we have strong associations. And there are some things that inform us to describe an organization or an association as a very strong organization or an association. What are those things? So these are the things. Speaking with one voice. A very strong organization always speak with one voice. Their voice cannot be disputed by individuals. Their voice carry weight. And because they always speak with one voice, they will always get recognized because they are speaking not as individuals, they are speaking as an organization. Even political groups will try to identify with such associations. So associations that speak with one voice can easily get recognized. And it is very, very important for an association or an organization to get recognized, because it is after the recognition that they will receive the needed attention. If they are not recognized, nobody will give them attention. But once they are recognized, they can receive the attention by the government, attention by other organizations or donor organizations or any bank or any insurance company. And then once they have started, receiving attention, then they will begin to record achievements. And these achievements are the success of the association. We cannot measure success without enumerating achievements. Any individual political office holder will tell people that he has succeeded in his tenure by enumerating his achievements. If you don't have anything to show as an achievement, it means you are a failure. But if you have some things to show as your achievement, that means you are a success. So an association can be a successful one once they were able to record some achievements. They have it in their logbook telling us that they pursue compensation so time, they control price so time, they ask the government to intervene and then, take or give subsidy, all these kind of things can be recorded as an achievement. And once these things are gotten, we can term the association or the organization as a very successful one. Following achievements. You know, as human beings, we came into existence and we, from childhood to old age or to a certain age, but at the end of it, we terminate, or our existence can terminate because of age, because of ill health, or because of accident and what have you. So anything that you know will ultimately have the tendency to collapse or have the tendency to continue, especially associations and organizations, you know, have the tendency to continue once the vision is always being pursued with good intention and vigorous, unlike the situation of a human being or an animal that must one day, you know, his existence must terminate because of age or any other reason. So an association also is bound to continue forever and ever, or for several generations, or is bound to collapse at the long run or immediately. So what are those things? What are those things that can define the collapse or a continuity of an association or an organization or an interest group or a business group? Those things, you know, we enumerated role of association. So anything that is opposite to what an association can do and get it to itself or to its members, anything contrary to that can lead to the collapse of the association. You know, all the previous discussion, there's something expected of the leaders, the leadership of the organization. If it is not in place, it might lead to the collapse of the organization. There's something that is expected of the followership. If that thing is not in place, it will lead to the collapse of the organization. There's a role to be played by an organization or by an association. If that role is not played effectively, it can lead to the collapse of the organization. So all the previous discussion has to be in place, or a greater portion of it or percentage of it has to be in place for any organization or an association to be termed as a successful. So once those things are not in place, it will lead to the collapse of the organization. And then continuity means doing the good things, the right things at the right time and at all times. For the continuation of an association or an organization, all those things that are always done right will continue to be done right. There's no relentlessness in running an association. It is always a fresh day. It is always a new day for the running of the organization. Once the effort is relentless, the association will keep on moving forward. And then if commitment is always renewed joyfully without any stress, members and the leaders, that means the followers and the leadership, are always, you know, passionate about the association or the organization, it will lead to the continuity of the organization. And then if there's love, love and understanding between the leadership and the followership is of paramount importance. Leadership should always feel that, you know, the followership are giving them the support. They show love to them. That will encourage them. That will also serve as a fuel for them. And that will make them not to do anything that will disappoint the followership. So also the followership. If the leadership is treating the followership fairly well, they show concern over their individual activities, their collective activities, they show love to them. So the followership will also succumb. It will also do what is expected of it, because it will not like a situation whereby there should be failure in the responsibility of the leadership. And then if leaders and followers are humble and respectful, we have stated it earlier, if they are humble and respectful, a leader respects a follower, and a follower respects a leader, and all of them think that they are equal in giving all the energies needed to do a particular or to carry out a particular activity. So this kind of thing, encourage continuity. If the dreams are becoming bigger day by day, and all members are stepping up happily to reach the cardinal point, then all this will ensure continuity. That means our dreams should always be renewed, should always be upgraded, should always be updated. And the plans to pursue the dreams also should always be upgraded, should always be fine-tuned. So once this is done, then there has to be a kind of continuity of the organization of the association, because it will keep on rolling. It will keep on, catching up with the trends of things in that particular generation. So the collapse or the continuity of an association is a decision. It is either the leaders or the followers that can decide. The decision is left for either the leaders or the followers to either continue or to allow for the collapse of the organization. That one is a decision. So I think now we can say that farmers can decide for themselves, either to come together to work so as to succeed and then overcome the challenges of their own businesses, or to be in isolation, not to give attention to a group thing, so that at the end of it, I think that will lead to the collapse of the industry, because a fight that is difficult to be won by a group is a fight that is impossible to be won by an individual. Thank you for having you, for being part of this, our forum, and the essence of it is to ponder over it and then get the best out of it, so that at the end of it, we will say that it has impacted our lives, our businesses effectively. Animal Care Services Council will continue to give this kind of support to farmers, because we feel that this is part of our contribution to the life of the farmers. And we expect that farmers also can, take it very important, so that together we can move forward. I thank you all for having us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yunus Harun, for this wonderful presentation. And we really appreciate the effort given to what has been done. For those that joined while we were still on the course of the program, we have listened to Dr. Amos Elogun earlier on, who speaks on the heat stress management. And he discussed a lot of issues that are very, very vital, very, very important. But some of us were lucky to hear the presentations, while some came later, when he has already finished the presentation. Only that we'll try and see how Dr. Amos will respond to questions that we're asking, how they can get the presentations, and see how people will benefit from what he shared with us, the knowledge he shared with us. Thank you very much. Very quickly, before we move on to the questions and answers, I would like to notify the general participants that we have another program that will be coming on 27th and to 29th of April. Program will come between 27th and 29th of April, but this one is certificate training, which is authorities for training on poultry and management, poultry production and management. So for those that are interested, they can join us in that program as we are going to share the flyer. For those that want to go online, as we are doing this one, their price is 15,000 Naira. And for those that want to attend the program physically in our head office, Philamat Institute of Poultry and Aquaculture Management, they will pay 35,000 Naira. That is the information I have for now. And without taking so much time, I would like to hand over to Dr. Amos to respond to some of the questions that were asked by the participants. Hello, Dr. Amos.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ismail. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. We have a question from Joe Farm. And Joe Farm is asking about the recommended dimension for a poultry house in order to have good ventilation. So we advise that the width or the wideness of the house should not be more than 30 feet so that you can have good cross ventilation. The length of the house can be 100, can be 50, as long as necessary, but the width must not be more than 30 feet. That is very important. Then the height of the pen should be about 12 feet. We advise that you should have 12 feet at the side of the house so that you can have good ventilation and good environment for your birds. And then ensure that the roof has a good overhang so that the sun rays will not be going into the pen, directly into the pen. And we have a question from Temitope asking about super leaf, Mentofin, and stress root. The question was, can they be used with antibiotics? Sincerely, you can use them with antibiotics. They are natural, they are herbal, and they don't have any adverse effect on the birds. So you can use them with antibiotics if your veterinarian recommends it to be used in that manner. We have used it in that manner, and we don't have any complaint with it. And then there's a customer, or rather there's a question here about where can one get super leaf in Sokoto. The question is from Dr. Anasin. We have a rep in Sokoto. There's a phone number that will be given at the end of this program for our northern office and the western office and the eastern office. So you'll be able to get our products by calling any of the numbers that will be listed very shortly. So those are what I have so far. For the person from Port Harcourt, you can also get our products from our Asaba branch. The number will also be displayed shortly so that you'll be able to get super leaf from that contact. Dr. Ismail, I think that's all I have for now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amos. Initially, when we started this program, I saw somebody that raised a hand. I don't know whether he's still with us. Dr. Abdulaziz Najim, I saw your hand up. I don't know if you are with us, if you can talk, sir. Dr. Abdulaziz Najim.
Okay, Dr. Ismail, there's a question I jumped now, which I want to respond to.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, somebody is asking if he can get foggers and nozzles from us, fogger nozzles. So we have our caretaker department in charge of cages and foggers, headed by Mr. Ayo. So the number that will be displayed for our Southwest office, you'll be able to get the fogger nozzles from that contact. So that's just the additional information for fogger nozzles.
So somebody was asking, Doctor.
Yeah.
Hello, Doctor.
Yes, I can hear you.
Somebody was asking, you talked about spraying within the pen.
Yeah. Yes.
So wouldn't that cause a problem?
Yeah, it's a good question. When we say spray, we're not talking about wetting the floor of the pen. We're just talking about using fine mist, small droplets of water that will come out in very micro size of spray droplets. So it's like you spraying an insecticide in a room. You don't really, it's not wetting the room, but you are spraying the environment, you are reducing the heat and increasing the moisture in the environment. So we're not talking about wetting the environment. So that should be noted.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Somebody is asking also, what's the ideal spacing between one pen and another?
Ideal spacing between one pen and another pen.
Yes.
Yeah, we recommend. Yes, we recommend half of the size of a pen, which is 15 feet. About 15 feet between one pen to another pen. If you cannot do 15 feet, try and do 10 feet from one pen to another pen, so that you have some distance between the two pens.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your effort. I don't know if there is anybody that has another question. You can quickly drop it on the chat box or raise your hand so that I can see it for Doctor to respond to your questions. Yes, I have somebody here, Fumilayo Sheri. Sorry, the name is not. If you are with us, please, can you unmute yourself and talk? Fumilayo. Hello, Fumilayo. So maybe Fumilayo Sharifat.
Hello.
Yeah, hold on, you're welcome, ma.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon, ma.
I've been with you all the while.
Okay, thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Yeah. I don't have any questions.
Okay. So thank you, ma. Thank you for appreciating what we are doing.
You're welcome, sir.
Well done, thank you. Then I'm seeing somebody, Fausat, has gone up. You can unmute yourself and talk. Esther David. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Ismail, Dr. Ismail, you are very audible. We can hear you.
Okay. I'm talking to Elizabeth now. Elizabeth Tosin. I can see it's like you are raising your hand. So maybe she's not very close. So, Dr. Emosa. Dr. Emosa. Somebody here is asking, what's the ideal height of a pen? An ideal height of a pen. Hello. It's like, hello. Dr. Amos talked about the ideal height of a pen while he was discussing. He mentioned 12 feet,
Okay.
the lintel level.
Okay, yes.
To the lintel.
12 feet is the recommended height at the site from the floor to the lintel level. 12 feet.
Okay, 12 feet to the lintel level.
Yes, so if we are having a chimney arrangement at the roof, that means the roof will go up to about 14 to 16 feet at the roof level.
If I get it right, the lintel level should be at about 12 feet, while the middle of the roof should be about 16 feet. That's what Dr. Amos is explaining now.
Yes.
Sorry, there is one. You seem to be evading my questions, sir, and my hands are up. Please, can you unmute yourself and talk?
Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, rather.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So this has been really insightful and very, very helpful. I appreciate you guys. My question is concerning the association. Is there an association already in place, or is this a clarion call for us to actually come together and form an association? So if there's already an association, I'd like to know the process of getting registered to join the association, actually. And then I wanted to get the cost for most of the vitamins that you had mentioned here.
Okay, the vitamins that have been mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean the explanation about them? Oh, okay.
No, the price. The pricing.
Okay, where are you based, ma?
Lagos.
Okay, you are in Lagos.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
You will get the response from Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get Dr. Yunus online. I don't know if he's online. But before I get him...
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. So
yes.
He's asking her if she can, how can she join an association? Do we have an association where it's like, this one is just like a clarion call to join Poultry Association?
Yes, at the beginning of the discussion also we stated that the essence of the discussion is a clarion call. There's an association for farmers, poultry farmers, which is popularly known as the Poultry Association of Nigeria. You can get this kind of association almost in all the states of the Federation. And we are happy to announce to you that the Northwest Bloc, the Southwest Bloc form, the most active poultry association. So, and we have some states where some farmers don't even know the office of the association, and don't even know about the executive members of the association. But in Lagos, I think if you inquire or ask your fellow farmers, they will tell you about the Poultry Association of Lagos. And then from there, you can be able to get their address and then register with them and then do all that is expected of you. And then one of the things also that is being required here is that states where the associations are not very active should try as much as possible to emulate those that are having active associations. And
you know, in one of the slides, we encourage all the branches to come together as a unit so as to operate. So initially, in the formation of every association, you know, the branches have to be very, very active first. And then after being active, then they have to harness their strength. Because one thing that can operate in my own branch effectively might likely not operate in another branch effectively. So first of all, we have to fix what is in our branch first. And then you also do your own. And then it is the responsibility of the national body to, you know, be liaising with all the branches so as to harness all these ideas together. And then later on, a very formidable and an association that can stand the test of time can be found. I think and I hope that this question is answered.
Thank you very much, sir. Before I move on, Dr. Amos, she was asking where to get these vitamins that I've mentioned. So, and I found out she's from Lagos.
Yeah, Dr. Ismail, I would like to come in there. One of the things about animal care is we have 3 branches. We have Ogeri branch in Ogun State. We have Kano branch, and we have Asaba branch. And then we have sales reps in every state, almost every state of the nation. So during this program, we're going to display a phone number for the Southwest, a phone number for the Southeast, and a phone number for the North. So you can reach any of these numbers and you will get the prices of the products that you need.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. And these are the phone numbers Dr. Aduta is sharing with us. For further inquiries, head office, you have Mr. Lawson and Dr. Aduta for those that are interested. And for Southwest, we have Dr. Ige and Mrs. Dele. Their phone numbers are there. Then for the North, Dr. Ismail and Dr. Amos. And for the Southeast, we have Dr. Benson and Dr. Jude. So for all the branches, these are the primary contacts that you can contact so that you get what you want from the branches. Thank you very much, Dr. Amos Elogun, and thank you very much, Dr. Aduta, for sharing this. So I'm seeing some charts here. Is Falomo Olusegun with us, please? Falomo Olusegun. Joseph. Hey, please, go ahead.
You have murdered the name. Falomo.
Yes, I'm with you.
Sorry for murdering the name. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Welcome, sir.
We appreciate your efforts.
Okay, thank you very much.
To ask question, I want to ask question concerning the list that was just shared on the screen now. Is it for association or for contact for technical advice? You share the screen now, showing displaying numbers of certain people.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to know, is it for the association or for the technical support?
This one are numbers for the staff of animal care, the primary contacts for animal care staff that you can connect with. So they can help you for the technical support and they can help you to link you up with the association you are closer to. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Then the management course, the first lecture on the technical activities to manage heat stress. Yes. It was so fast and we couldn't assimilate much of it. Can we get the slide?
Okay. Dr. Amos has responded to that. I don't know, Dr. Amos, are you close by?
Yes, we've received some email addresses. We actually requested that those who want the recording should send their email address and we will send the recording to them. So you can send your email address in the chat box.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Amos. Somebody using Infinix 8 Lite. Can we have you, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome, sir. Can you identify yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Abdurazak Musa Usman from Bauchi State. I want to appreciate the effort of both the presenters as well as the moderator. My question was to the first presenter. He made mention of watery fishes, especially during this hot season. So does it mean that any watery stool that we have witnessed is associated with the hot weather, or there are some, I don't know whether if he has gotten what
Yeah, it's with you. He's hearing the question.
Yes, as in there is no any cause of alarm when we witness watery fishes during this hot weather.
Okay, Dr. Amos is going to respond now.
Yeah,
yes, and sometimes
Dr. Amos is okay. Yeah, okay.
Sometimes you see that the ratio of the urine is most than the pieces. So I want to know whether if there is no problem about that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Indeed, like I said, there's a lot of watery stooling because the birds are taking almost 4 to 5 times the normal level of water they're supposed to take. So it's not in all cases that watery stool means high water intake. Sometimes there are some disease conditions that may lead to diarrhea or watery stool. But we are just saying that you have more situations of watery stool during hot season than during cold season. So we just want us to understand that. So when you see watery stool, you don't just assume that it's a disease condition. Of course, we always say invite your health professional, your veterinarian, to always look at your birds. If there are issues, if there are, what do you say, abnormal conditions associated with the birds, they are not eating properly, they are not moving around actively as they are used to, as they used to do, you notice some changes. So if watery stool is seen, it may just be that they took so much water. And if there is an accompanying issue with them, you should consult your veterinarian to have a look at them and advise you appropriately. So that's just the explanation on that.
Okay. Fumilayo Sharifat. Fumilayo Sharifat, can you please unmute yourself and speak?
Hello? Okay,
Yeah,
can you hear me? So my question is, please, I want more explanation on pen alignment. He was talking about aligning it through east-west, but I don't really get it well.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yes,
yeah. In terms of aligning the pen is in a rectangular shape. I want you to think of the pen as a rectangle. So in a rectangle, you have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So the short sides should face the east and the west. You can call somebody to help you check where is the east and the west. So the short side should face the east and the west. The longer side will now face the north and the south. So you can use a rectangle to understand that explanation.
Yes. We still have Otuniga Bamidele. Please, if you are with us, can you unmute yourself and I can see your hand up. Otuniga Bamidele. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Your network is cracking. Hello. Your network is, you are not audible, sir. You are not audible, sir. Hello? So, hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, go
Hello,
ahead.
can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I quite appreciate what Animalcarenigeria here is doing, imparting knowledge to farmers. I was privileged to attend your last training, I think sometimes last month. No, February. The dimension of the pen that was deep in between two rows was 5 feet. But now we're asked to do a 10 to 15 feet in between two rows. And the height of the pen was 2 feet as against 10 feet that was given to us in the last training. So I want a more expansion on these differences.
I don't know whether it is my network. It's like you were saying the width of the pen, you were told to be 26 or 25?
No,
Can
it
I
was
respond
5
to
feet
the question?
between the two rows of pen. Hello?
Hello?
Dr. Ismail?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, can I respond to his question?
Yeah, did you hear him very well?
Yes, I understand what he's trying to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, the dimension Dr. Amos gave for Mr. Bamidele is between a pen house and another pen house. So don't get it twisted. Now, within a pen house, it can be 2 rows, it can be 3 rows. Now, the one they gave you at the training school is in between the row inside the pen, 5 feet.
Okay.
That means between one cage and another cage. I hope you got that. Then for the height, now consider that the level, when you want to floor, you put that, you put that in mind, plus or minus. So between 10 to 12, then depending on the area that you have. Now in the southwestern part or in the southern part of Nigeria, at least the heat here is not much. So I think 10 is still very, very okay. But up in the north there now, they have to probably increase the height, at least for more ventilation. So I hope you understand what they are trying to say.
I understand what he was asking
so
about.
that's the response.
Sorry, I didn't ask Bamidele. You are calling from where, sir?
Calling from Lagos.
Okay, you're from Lagos.
Hello?
Yes, you are calling from Lagos.
Lagos.
Okay, I understand the differences. So thank you very much, sir.
And then, Dr. Ismail, if I can come in, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want Bamidele to understand that, in a place where space is limited, that's when we constrain ourselves about, taking measurement between pens. But the general rule of the game is that the more the distance between the two pens, the lesser the risk of, disease being transmitted from one pen to the other. If you have space, you can space as much as you can. The distance between the two pens can be maybe up to 1 kilometer if you want. Are you getting me? So, but what we are talking about is the minimum distance. The minimum distance, yes. So if you have space, you can give it up to 1 kilometer if you want, yes. And then about the height also is a function of the ventilation is a function of the height. If you think that your place is very hot, then the higher you go with the roof, the more ventilation you can get. So these are general rules, yes. And then pardon me, Dr. Ismail, I think I will advise that as you have rightly put it, anybody that wants to get in touch or get linked up with the Poultry Association should try to identify animal care staff in his territory. Once he can be able to identify animal care staff, I think the animal care staff can put you through on how to link you up with the association that is very close at you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So I think for now, this is what I have. But before I round up, I would like to call on one of our national sales managers to say one or two things. Just within let me say 1 minute. I can see Mr. Lawson Akwekebe. If we can have you on the podium so that you can just greet the farmers and advise them again before we round up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, good afternoon.
We can hear you,
Mr. Lawson.
I welcome us, and I want to thank everyone that has participated in this program. I want to believe that moving forward, our businesses will turn around for good. This program we started some months ago. This is not going to be the end of it. Learning is a continuous process, and we hope that it's going to continue again. By the special grace of God, the next one that is coming will be hotter and tougher, and there's going to be an improvement in whatever you have learned. I want to wish us the very best in our businesses as we go on from here. And all that we have learned, let us endeavor to put it into practice. One thing is to learn, the other thing is to apply. So the essence of coming out every now and then to give out information is to transform our business to the better level. So we expect that every one of us that are on here in this platform should go back and do the needful. If you have any challenge, if you have any question, the numbers have been rolled out for us to see. You can call the nearest person very close to us so that we can together work in unison to make things better for our farm operations, because the best you can do these days is to be more efficient in our operation. And that is why these topics are selected. We don't just come up every day and bring out any topic. Our topics are really selected. And this topic that you have heard today is actually very good, particularly in this season that we are facing right now. The heat is so tense, even in the West here. I wonder how it will be like in the North and in the East. So we have had it, and I want to use this opportunity once again to thank every one of us for coming around to listen to us and the presenters. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Mr. Lawson. I think 30 seconds this time around, if I have Dr. Aduta Daniel.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ismail. Mr. Lawson has said it all. Mine is just to please tell us that you can go to the chat box, click on the chat box. There is a link there for attendance. After the program, we will leave for some minutes, about 5 minutes. We will be rolling out maybe some videos for 5 minutes so that you can be able to register. Just give us your contact. We want to get your contact. Just click on that link and then give us your contact, please. Once again, we want to appreciate you all. We hope that your data is well spent, and we believe that that which you've learned, you will put it to use. And for our customers or our farmers from the north, wish you Ramadan Kareem, and may God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aduta. And with this, we call it a day. Thank you very much for all the participants and all for the presenters. We really appreciate it. And we hope next time we'll see you again. Thank you very much. And have a nice day.